Ah. Hello, hello. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Beatle Significa. Bay Lady here. My name's Sharon Schultz, and I'm known as the Bay Lady because I do virtual tours from around the Chesapeake Bay area of Maryland. However, I also kind of go off on other little things, this being one of them, Beatles trivia. Yay. Um, let's see. We need to get a little background music here. Let me take care of that. Alexa, play Paul McCartney's new album, The Boys of Dungeon Lane.
Here's The Boys of Dungeon Lane by Paul McCartney on Amazon Music.
Now let's see if this is loud or not. Alexa, increase volume. Okay, there's a little background music, right? Alexa, reduce volume. It was good where I had it. Okay, so anyway, here we are. We're doing Beatles Significa today. It's called Beatles Significa. It's Beatles trivia, but I've named it after a card game from the 1980s, the original game, Beatles Significa. A game for 2 or more players, card game. It has 832 questions and answers covering every aspect of the Beatles phenomenon. Covering only Beatle years from birth to breakup, basically. However, we're going to do one of my little trivia books today instead. We're going to try this one. The Beatles quiz book. It's 250 questions to test your knowledge of the best-selling group in history. Before we get started, a couple things to tell you. If you want to know more about my tours, you can find me on Facebook, The Bay Lady. Please follow me. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sharon Schultz, The Bay Lady. I have some great tours coming up, virtual tours, with the 250th celebration of America's birthday. Baltimore is doing some really spectacular things, and we will be covering them. Starting on Friday, I will be at Baltimore's Inner Harbor for Sail 250. It includes a lot of visiting ships to our harbor. There'll be international ships, tall ships, military vessels, all coming to visit Baltimore. There'll be air shows and just all kinds of patriotic celebrations. So you don't want to miss that on Friday. And then next week, we're going to Fort McHenry. What better place to celebrate the birth of the country than the birthplace of the Star Spangled Banner, where our national anthem was written. We will go there live as well. So please follow me to keep up with my my tours and such. Also, please check me out at buymeacoffee.com. You'll find the links to it on my Facebook and YouTube platforms. That's where I post special information, updated stuff sometimes for those who support my platform. So, can you hear Paul singing there? His new album, it's really good, actually. I like it. I like this song, As You Lie There. It's the first one on the album. Very, very cool song. It kind of goes into different patterns. I don't know quite how to explain it, but I like it. All right, let's, shall we? The Beatles quiz. answers. Okay. Might as well start at the beginning, right? And I think what we'll do is I'll ask the questions and you can write down your answers or however you want to do it, but I'll ask the questions and then we'll go back and read the answers. Okay, first chapter. It says, okay, let's start with some easy questions. Chapter 1, easy start. Okay. Which city were all of the Beatles born in? Was it Leeds, Leicester, Liverpool, or London? What city were all of the Beatles born in? Leeds, Leicester, Liverpool, or London? Who was the youngest Beatle? Question 2. Who was the youngest Beatle? Was it John, Paul, George, or Ringo? Who was the shortest in height? Who was the shortest in height? John, Paul, George, or Ringo? Shortest in height. Question 4. When did John and Paul meet for the first time? Okay, was it on the 6th of January, 1957? The 6th of April, 1957? July 6th, 1957? Or October 6th, 1957? So when did John and Paul meet for the first time? In 1957? Was it on January 6th, April 6th, July 6th, or October 6th? Number 5, where did John and Paul meet for the first time? Was it at a church fair, at the circus, at a fun fair, or at school? At a church fair, circus, fun fair, or school? Number 6, where did Paul and George meet? Where did Paul and George meet? Was it at a snooker club? What is a snooker club? Snooker. No clue here. Okay, where did they meet? At a snooker club? At school music lessons? On a bus? Or on the River Mersey ferry? Where did Paul and George meet? At a snooker club? At school music classes? On a bus? On the River Mersey ferry. Number 7, what band had John formed before he met any of the other Beatles? What was the name of the band John had before he met the Beatles? Was it called the Cavemen, the Highwaymen, the Quarrymen, or the Weathermen? Cavemen, Highwaymen, Quarrymen, Weathermen. Number 8, what was the group's early nickname? What was the group's early nickname? Was it the Fab Four, the Fantastic Four, the Fresh Four, or the Friendly Four? Fab Four, Fantastic Four, Fresh Four, Friendly Four. What was the group's first single? What was the group's first single? Was it From Me to You, Love Me Do, Please Please Me, or She Loves You? From Me to You, Love Me Do, Please Please Me, or She Loves You? What was the group's debut album? Was it Introducing the Beatles, Meet the Beatles, Please Please Me, or With the Beatles? What was their debut album? Introducing the Beatles, Meet the Beatles, Please Please Me, or With the Beatles? All right, for the answers. Question 1, The answer, all 4 members of the group were born in Liverpool. Question 2, George was the youngest. The order by oldest to youngest, Ringo, John, Paul, and George. Question 3, Ringo at 5 feet 6 inches was the shortest. George was 5 feet 10 inches, and John and Paul were both 5 feet 11 inches tall. Question number 4. John and Paul met for the first time on July 6, 1957. July 6, 1957. It was during the summertime. Number 5. John was performing with the Quarrymen at the Woolton Parish Church Liverpool Garden Fair. After the show, Paul introduced himself to John and played a few songs, including Eddie Cochran's 20 Flight Rock, which obviously impressed him. 2 weeks later, Paul was asked to join the band. As Paul, let's see, number 6, question 6. Paul met George for the first time on a bus on the way to school. Question 7. The Quarrymen were formed by John in 1956, which evolved into the Beatles by 1960. The band was named after John's school, Quarry Bank High School. Number 8. The band picked up the nickname the Fab Four early in their careers. Question 9. Love Me Do was the group's debut single. It was released in October 1962. Question 10. Please Please Me was the first album released by the Beatles in March 1963. Okay, moving on. Chapter 2 questions, the early days. Okay, this will be questions 11 through 20. Uh-oh, what happened to the music? Alexa, continue playing Paul McCartney's voice from Dungeon Lane.
I couldn't find that song, but there's other music by Paul McCartney.
Okay, that works. Alexa outvoted us. She's finding other music by Paul McCartney. Okay. Alexa, play some Beatles music. Oh my goodness. Alexa. Alexa, stop. Okay, that works. All right, chapter 2, the early days. 11. What was the name of the club the band regularly played gigs at in Liverpool? The name of the club where the band regularly played in Liverpool. Was it the Carmel Club, the Casino Club, the Casual Club, or the Cavern Club? Carmel Club, Casino Club, Casual Club, or Cavern Club? 12. Where did the band play in residence in Germany in the 1960s? Where did the band play in residence in Germany in the 1960s? Was it in Berlin, Frankfurt, Hamburg, or Munich? Berlin, Frankfurt, Hamburg, Munich. Who's the band's record producer? Was it Eddie Kramer, George Martin, Tom Parker, or Alan Parsons? Eddie Kramer, George Martin, Tom Parker, Alan Parsons, who was the band's record producer. 14. What was Brian Epstein's relationship with the band? What was Brian Epstein's relationship with the band? Was he their legal counsel, their manager, media liaison officer, or a psychotherapist? Was Brian their legal counsel, their manager, their media liaison officer, or their psychotherapist? I say the latter. Number 15, who was the band's road manager? Number 15, who is the band's road manager? Was it Mal Elliott, Mal Ellis, Mal Emery, or Mal Evans? Mal Elliott, Mal Ellis, Mal Emery, or Mal Evans? 16. What was the name of the musical movement in Liverpool in the early 1960s? The name of the musical movement in Liverpool in the early 1960s. Was it called the Mercy Beat, Mercy Mods, Mercy Music, or Mercy Tunes? Now, Mercy is the River Mersey that runs through Liverpool. So the musical movement in Liverpool that began in the 1960s was it Mercy Beat, Mercy Mods, Mercy Music, or Mercy Tunes? Pick one. 17. Who was the original bass guitarist who left the band in 1961? The original bass guitarist who left the band in 1961. Was it Frank Allen, Rory Storm, Stuart Sutcliffe, or Terry Sylvester? Frank Allen, Rory Storm, Stuart Sutcliffe, or Terry Sylvester? 18. Which record company first signed the Beatles? Which record company first signed the Beatles? Was it Atlantic, Capitol, EMI, or Island Records? Atlantic, Capitol, EMI, or Island Records? 19. What is the first track on the Please Please Me album? What is the first track on the Please Please Me album? Is it I Saw Her Standing There, Love Me Do, Please Please Me, or There's a Place? I Saw Her Standing There, Love Me Do, Please Please Me, or There's a Place? Question 20. What did George Martin say to the group at the end of the recording session of Please Please Me in November 1962? What did George Martin say to the group at the end of the recording session of Please Please Me in November 1962? Did he say, let's all go and have a pint? Stick with me and you'll go far. You guys are improving. Or you've just made your first number one. What did George say? Let's all go and have a pint. Stick with me and you'll go far. You guys are improving. Or you've just made your number one. What did he say in November 1962? Okay, the answers for Chapter 2. Question 11. The Cavern Club was the club the band regularly played gigs at in the early days. The club was still there and regularly has cover bands playing sets there. Question 12. The band played 5 residents in total in Hamburg. The boys played 5 residencies in Hamburg. Question 13. The Beatles successfully auditioned for George Martin in June 1962. He was key to the Beatles' success. And when he died, Paul said, if anyone earned the title of the fifth Beatle, it was George Martin. Question 14. Brian Epstein was the group's manager from 1962 until his death in 1967 at age 32. Question 15. Mal Evans was the group's road manager from 1963 to 1970. Mal Evans was there for the duration. Question 16. Mercy Beat was the movement that attracted many Liverpool-based singers and groups in the early 1960s. It was Mercy Beat. Question 17. Stu Sutcliffe was the original bass guitarist in the band. He left to further his career as a painter, but he died in 1962 at age 21 from a brain hemorrhage. Sutcliffe and John came up with the name Beatles as they were both fans of Buddy Holly and the Crickets. Question 18. It was in 1962 that George Martin signed the band to EMI's Parlophone label. Question 19. The first track on the Please Please Me album, I Saw Her Standing There. And question 20. After encouraging the group to re-record Please Please Me at a faster tempo, George Martin declared to the group, you've just made your first number one. Woohoo. Yeah. All right. Let's go for chapter 3, yeah? Okay, chapter 3 is about John. All about John Lennon. Okay. Question 21. What was his middle name? What was John Lennon's middle name? Was it Washington, Watson, Wellington, or Winston? Washington, Watson, Wellington, Winston. What instrument did John play in the band? Did he play the bass guitar, the drums, the lead guitar, or rhythm guitar? Which one of these brands of Gibson guitars is John most closely associated with? Les Paul Classic, Les Paul Jr., Les Paul Senior, or Les Paul Standard? Classic, Junior, Senior, or Standard? Okay, question number 24. Who told him the guitar is all very well, but you'll never make a living at it? Was it George's aunt? I'm sorry, John's aunt, his father, school headmaster, or his uncle? Who told John, your guitar is all very well, but you'll never make a living at it? Was it auntie, daddy, headmaster, or his uncle? What was John's first book called? The first book that he wrote. Which one? Was it called A Hard Day's Right? Don't Write Me Off? In His Own Right? Never Right, Never Wrong. All of those rights, by the way, W-R-I-T-E. A Hard Day's Right, W-R-I-T-E. Don't Write Me Off. In His Own Right. And Never Right, Never Wrong. 26. What nationality was John's second wife, Yoko Ono? Was she Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or Malaysian? Was Yoko Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or Malaysian? How many children did John have? 1, 2, 3, or 4? How many children did John have? Did he have 1, 2, 3, or 4 kids? What was the first song that John ever wrote? The first song John ever wrote. Was it Free as a Bird, Hello, Little Girl, Love of the Loved, or Till There Was You, John's first song. Free as a bird, Hello, Little Girl, Love of the Loved, Till There Was You. 29. What was the name of the black comedy he filmed in 1967? What was the name of the black comedy that John filmed in 1967? Was the title of the film Dogs of War, How I Won the War, Oh, What a Lovely War, War of the Roses? What was the name of the movie that John was in 1967? Dogs of War, How I Won the War, Oh, What a Lovely War, and the War of the Roses. Question 30. How old was John when he died? Was he 40, 42, 44, or 46? When John died, was he 40? Was he 42, 44, or 46? Okay. Answers for chapter 3. Okay. Question 21. John's middle name was Winston. He was named in honor of Winston Churchill. Question 22. John played mainly rhythm guitar in the band. John played rhythm guitar. Les Paul Jr. is the guitar that is most associated with John Lennon, the Les Paul Jr. guitar. The quote that a guitar is good, but you'll never make a living at it, that was from Aunt Mimi Smith, John's aunt and guardian. Mimi Smith, his aunt. Question 22. In His Own Right was the title of John's first book that was published in March of 1964. Alexa, pause. In His Own Right was John's first book, first published in March of 1964, contained short stories and poems. Question 26. Yoko Ono was born in Japan. 27. John has two sons, Julian and Sean. Question 28. Hello, Little Girl was the title of John's very first song that he wrote. He wrote it back in 1957, and in 1963, a Mercy Beat band called The Foremost recorded it, and the song reached number 9 in the UK charts. It's worth tracking down on YouTube, it says here. Number 29, How I Won the War was the name of the movie and John's only appearance in a non-Beatles film, feature film. A photo of John playing his character, Musketeer Gripweed, made it to the cover of the very first issue of Rolling Stone magazine. John died tragically at age 40, shot outside his apartment in the Dakota Building in New York City. So, my friends, that is all we have time for here. We can pick up next time with chapter 4 and go from there. I hope you enjoyed Beatles trivia. Let's see, does anybody have anything to say? Oh my goodness, really? Okay, so, you're free to comment here, folks. It's fun to write down your answers too and see, if, whatever. But somebody there by the name of Sand Hootie 9243. They're taking a poop this morning, so they're not paying attention to us. So we won't pay attention to them either, says the comment. All right, see you all again. Let's see, Friday, Baltimore. the 250 sale celebration. Hope you join me. Bye.